I posted a video yesterday addressing those people who are very, very rare indeed, who would make the claim that their holy book, typically the Bible or the Qu'ran, would contain all the scientific information that anybody could possibly need. I challenged them to build, using only their holy book's verses, a working piece of modern equipment based on modern science, such as, for example, a computer or an internal combustion engine. They should be able to describe, using only biblical or Quranic verses, how such a piece of technology works, and be able to describe how to build one, using only biblical or Quranic verses. I am still waiting for somebody to post a serious response to that challenge, and I will be waiting. But of course there are very, very few people like that. Venom Fang X maybe, and a couple of other fools. Most people are not quite as extreme as that. But there are some other strange myths doing the rounds about holy books, especially the Quran, where there is this myth doing the rounds amongst Muslims that the Quran contains scientifically accurate information that could not have been known at the time. Now, I did not want to discuss that myth in my previous video. It was not the topic of that video. But some people do not like to hear no for an answer, and some people can get very insulting if they do. Isn't that right, Architect Licious? But you want to discuss this particular topic? Okay, let's do so. But in a separate video, so that the discussion can remain on topic. In this case, we're going to discuss whether your Quran is a piece of shit or not. Yes, that is a very harsh term to use. But it is up to you to decide what the answer is going to be. And you are going to make the decision as what the answer is going to be. So if you're a Muslim watching this video, don't get upset. You can make your own decision on what the answer to this question is going to be. It depends on the following. What exactly is your Quran meant to be? Is it meant to be a scientific text, or is it meant to be a religious text? If it's meant to be a religious text, then rest assured that if that is your answer, then I do respect your holy book as religious text. And I have no equivocation about that. But if you want to insist that your holy book contains scientifically accurate information, then I am sorry. If that is what you claim your book is, then your book is a piece of shit. And that is what you decide your book is in that case. Now I'm going to address Architect Licious's argument here, because that's the argument she put forward, and that is a good example of how much of a piece of shit the Quran really is, if it is to be taken as a scientific text. It is one of the many often quoted examples of how the Quran supposedly contains scientifically accurate information that wasn't known at the time. This one is 23:14, which is Quranic embryology. Apparently the Quran contains accurate information describing human embryology. Really, does it? Architect Licious's argument specifically said that the Quran accurately described the three stages of embryonic development. She then quoted a Wikipedia article stating that there were 3 stages of embryonic development. Now, first of all, claiming that there are 3 stages of embryonic development is preposterous. There are as many or as few stages as you like, depending on how finely grained you want to look at the whole thing. You can just look at it as one stage, gestation, or you can finely chop it up into tiny little stages, from conception through to the creation of a zygote, a blastocyst, an embryo, a fetus, and what happens during those stages. But let's actually look at the text itself. Now, first of all, I would like to point out that it would make an awful lot more sense in the context of what we're talking about to start at verse 23:12, because that is the first verse in the list that is talking about where human beings supposedly come from. 23:12. Verily we created man from a product of wet earth. I don't know how you want to interpret that, but of course it is pretty obvious that that is pretty much the Quranic equivalent of the biblical story of Genesis, where Adam was created out of clay. And as we all know, human beings were never created out of clay. Human beings have evolved from a common ancestor we share with the great apes.